There's been a lot of debate over best teams in Central history. And of course, the 1991 team going 10-1 is always going to get that recognition for that. That year, you guys scored 392 points on the give of 146. But you have the critics, the positive critics, negative critics. The positive ones are saying y'all was dominant. You had two running backs run for 1,000 yards plus fullback, 500, quarterback 600. But then the negative critics say that you guys had an easy schedule. As you know, Coach E, after you was gone, he got contracts with some of the top teams in the state. So teams that came after that didn't have the same kind of record that you guys had. So kind of explain your feelings on that.
I really think it was a matter of not trying to build an easy schedule. If you really look into it, and if you know high school sports, you're on a 2-year contract. When you sign off with a team, a home and home, as they call it. We had signed a 2-year contract with all those teams. The only new team, we had a couple new teams my senior year. We played Lake Central was a home and home, Michigan City, Monster was a home and home, then we had Crown Point Bishop Noe. So those games are all home and homes. New team that we had picked up towards the end of the season was a Gary school. We always had a Gary school. So it was the tradition of, because we were independent, that we only could pick up the teams that were there. So
well, I mean, I got some stats right here. The teams, like for example, the team that you played for 91 and the current teams, they all have played. Every year they play LC, Bishop Noe, and Gary Westside. That's a guarantee. The other 5 teams you guys play with Michigan City, Hammer High, Monster, Highland, and Crown Point. That 1991 season, them guys had a overall record of 20-30. All right. The teams that came after you that they're playing, Kokomo, Terre Haute North, Ben Davis, the Penn, the Providence Catholic. 1991 season had a record of 56-8. So a lot of the teams that's play after you guys felt like if you guys would play against them top teams, your guys' record would have been 10-1. Not saying you guys wasn't great, but can you actually say that the East Chicago Central, the best team in Central history, is 1991?
I can say that. A lot of historians, those teams, we played Terre Haute, but we was off contract with them. But I believe if we'd have played Terre Haute back in my senior year, we would have beat them.
How about Ben Davis?
I believe we would have beat them. Actually, there was a guy that I went to college with who was from Ben Davis, and he said when the sectional started, on their board, they had us. They felt like they were going to state, and they had a board, and it had us on their board. And he said that they started looking at film on us after they won the second game of the sectionals. So that just let me know right there, and this guy I'm still good friends with, that let me know right there that we were feared, not just up here in the region, I mean in the whole state. We got a lot of respect. I wasn't blessed to go to the North-South All-Star game, but the stories from Tom Mikowski and Royce Love, when they stepped in the locker room at the North-South All-Star game, they said it was incredible. Everyone knew them. They said they had everyone shaking their hands, saying, "Oh man, you guys were great. We know what happened." I mean, that just let me know that, hey, we were feared, and we were taking on all comers.
So you saying right now, because in 1991, you had Ben Davis, who actually won the state championship that year. Penn Mishawaka was the state runner-up. They lost to Penn, as well as Providence Catholic, who was a 6A Class State championship, like 7 years in a row. So you guys telling me that if you'd have played them teams, you'd have beat them?
The Catholic team, I don't really know. I know about them. I don't know what they had that season, but I know Mishawaka Penn we would have beat, because after we would have ran through them when we got to the regionals. Um, they were a ground team. We were a ground team. But outside our ground team, our ground offense was better. Um, they didn't pass that much, if I could recall that year. They were more of like a Griffith. They ran the ball. Because we actually watched film on them after we beat Roosevelt, because we just knew we're going to face Penn in regionals. And they had a lot of points that we had picked out on film, a lot of weak points. And we started looking at film on them and started actually looking at what can we do to really bust open them weak points. So I really feel that we would have beat Miss Rucker Penn. Ben Davis also had weak points that year. They had two. I know they had two. I can remember they had two underclass linemen, and they were at key spots. They're guards. We ran a 3-4 my senior year, and we ran a 3-4 run react defense. And I believe Tom Nikowski would have had a field day on those young offensive linemen. And with our middle linebackers, Royce Love and Crazy Man, Ted Compton, I really think we would have gave Ben Davis the business.